everyone, this is Varsha, and you are watching the series of success stories brought to you by Indian Achievers Forum. So, as you all know, in this segment of ours, we talk about the prominent achievers of our country who have made India proud in some way or the other. The main focus of our series is to make you all know about the success and achievements of our prominent guest. So today, in the same sequence, we have with us Ms. Sudeshna Sarkar Ghoshal, who is the co-founder of Retail Scan Management Services Private Limited. But before we actually start the conversation with her, let's quickly have a look at a very small video telling you about what we actually do.
Indian Achievers Forum is driven by a full-fledged advisory board. The board consists of experienced personalities who have excelled in their respective careers. Together, the forum organizes conferences, events, workshops, exhibitions, trade shows, and B2B initiatives in India as well as abroad. Where there is passion, there is achievement. And where there is achievement, there is Indian Achievers Forum.
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Hello, Varsha. How are you?
All good, ma'am. Thank you so much for asking. So, before we actually start our conversation, please tell us a bit about yourself and also your professional role.
We founded this company in 2011, and when you are running a startup, you are almost doing everything. In the initial days, right from sales to service delivery, I think the role was covering the entire spectrum. However, today the role is more strategic, and I primarily focus on developing clients for my organization. I also take care of strategic initiatives like where with which kind of organization services we should collaborate. I also work in the funding area, so how we can get more funds into the company and things like that.
All right, ma'am. So, what exactly is the idea behind starting up with this business? As in, what was that thought process that came into your mind while that you want to start with this company of yours?
Sure, that's a very interesting question, actually. Um, I look back to the days when I was having a full-fledged professional career with one of the largest multinational, a very revered multinational company, so to say. And I was also having this great itching inside me that it's time to do something on my own. And I was actually looking around for ideas, and many things that I used to think, I used to feel that this is so hackneyed and this is being done. And I was not a techie, so there was not something that I could create or disrupt. But I knew one thing, that there is something that I must do, which brings a change, which brings a disruption in the market. So uh, one day, when we were just talking between some of the friends, and especially my husband, who was also a TOC consultant and has been in the consulting industry, we said that look at whichever you go to large format shop or small format shop, most of the time in the list, whatever items you want to buy, there are some items which are always missing. And yet when he was telling me, as a consultant, when I go and talk to these companies, most of them say that there's so much of a burden of inventory, there's so much stocks that are piling up, which means what is selling is not there, and what is not selling is piling up. uh, and every time there is a stock out situation, you're actually not selling the product. And that's where I said that if I could do something to plug this gap, where we could make, we could enable or help availability and visibility of products in the store, we could actually bring a lot of paradigm shift in the way manufacturers do business with the trade. And that is where the concept of retail scan came up. And retail scan has evolved ever since. While we started with this idea, we have grown to impact the retailer across his journey cycle with the manufacturer. So right from profiling the store to checking what is the availability, visibility in the store, paying the store, creating an engagement cycle whether the store can sell more. We are into every aspect, the entire journey that the retailer has with the manufacturer. So that's how the thought evolved, and this is where we are. It was fun. It's a great feeling.
Wonderful, ma'am. So now, moving ahead, though you have told us about the idea of starting up with the business, but then nothing comes that easy to us. And I'm pretty sure that you must have also had certain sort of challenges in your professional role. So if we can please talk about those challenges and also the overcomings for the same.
Uh, well, I don't try to think too much about challenges. The more you think of challenges, there's challenge in everything that you do. But yes, mm, I was born in a middle class Bengali family. And at a time when India was very, very socialist, and the max that people would think of for a girl child would be that she should join a government service department or a bank at most, maybe become a doctor, that kind of a thing. So I was from a generation of Bengal where women were encouraged to work but live within that paradigm. And I was very lucky to be born of parents, and especially my mother, who always felt that girls have to be independent and they have to be on their own. And You can have a full-fledged family life, but it was very, very important that you are on your own and independent financially as well. So that's where the journey started. And uh, so I would put it this way, that even at that time, I was always encouraged, or I have a younger sister, so we were always encouraged to look at things which are new, things which you would like to do, and where you can bring an impact into the society. And as usual, I finished my graduation from one of the most premium colleges of Kolkata, then moved on to do my MBA, joined a MNC company. It was much later when I was also facing some challenges with my family coming over, and which is typically what women face, with the first child coming over. And I had my ailing in-laws. Um, that was the time I decided that to sort of have a balanced to balance between these two worlds. Probably I should do something on my own, which can which can impact the world, as well as which can help me juggle between these two things. And that is where this the thought of starting on my own started becoming very strong within me. So the challenges, I would say, are when we started retail scan. I think in the initial days, way back in 2010, 11, a lot of people were very apprehensive. I mean, it is okay to have, senior manager, general manager from a company coming over, and selling to them, but a woman entrepreneur, and that too in a domain that I chose, where sales, as you know, I work primarily with manufacturing organizations that sell through retail, so that is FMCG, FMCD kind of organizations, but the domain is still very, very dominated by men. So there would be people would take it with a pinch of salt, would wonder whether, she's serious. What happens if we contract this vendor, and within some time the vendor moves out. These are the typical kind of I think paradigm challenges that I had. And I think that the only thing that sort of makes you move on is the basic conviction that you can do, and you want to do sincerely what you're doing.
All right, ma'am. So now moving ahead and talking about your company, Retail Scan Management Services Private Limited. What sort of services and products are you people providing to people out there? So if you can brief us a bit about these details, please.
Yeah, sure, Barsha. So we are the country's first 100% customized retail tracking company. We work in the area of retail tracking, retailer payout. So we are in a way a payout management or fintech firm. And we work in retail intelligence, where we track pricing models for various products and categories in the trade. We work with almost all the top, 15 FMCG companies. So may it be Marico, GCPL, Procter and Gamble, Hindustan Unilever, whichever, Godrej Consumer Products, Tata Consumer Products. We are with all of them, Johnson and Johnson. We are with all of them. We are also working for pharma OTC companies like Cipla, Abbott, and so on. Before I delve into telling you about what our company does, let me give you a little overview of what is the retail environment in the country. Now, you hear so much about uh, the organized format, you hear about the e-commerce, and the general perception in urban India is that after 2020, 2021, the entire COVID era, e-commerce is the way to go. The truth of the life, do you know, Varsha, is that if you ask any of these companies, like a Lifebuoy soap or a Dettol sanitizer, from where do they get their maximum sales? They will tell you that still more than 90% of the sales comes from these, general trades, the mom and pop stores that you see around in your neighborhood. Now, these stores have a very unique feature. You see, in India's social economic fabric, these are run by, they are a family with very small capital outlay, and they gave all kinds of services to the neighborhood, consumers. So right from home delivery to the best possible prices, to clubbing products, they do everything that you see possibly in the larger format stores. And they come and they are at your beck and call even at 10 in the night. Now, this is the group of stores that we focus our energies on. So now, if I tell you about the product and services, maybe you will get a little more perspective. Our first service is retail audit, where we audit the store for the availability and visibility of products. How the products are available in the store. Is it available on the shelf? Mind you, stores have not proliferated in the last, 5 6 years, but urban agglomeration population has increased. You also see that brands have just proliferated. So it's a war on the shelf. You have, I mean, 10 years back, how many juices did you see on the shelf? Now you have more than, five large brands that you can recall, and each having its own USP. Point I'm making is, in this kind of an environment, it's very important for all manufacturers to track exactly where, how much of the share of the shelf they have, because ultimately, the old adage, right? जो दिखता है वही बिकता है. So we do this tracking exercise and we dovetail this information back to our clients, and that helps them to improve the store execution. Okay. Then comes making payments to these stores. Now, all our clients would like to have a direct relationship with the store. However, because of the size and the nature of the retail trade in India, most of these very, very large behemoths that you see, right from levers to, all the names that I took some time back, they do not get an option. The only way they could communicate to the store earlier was through the distributor. Most of these stores do not have even a, pure, a computer through which they'll do their billing. So everything is done in a, in a manual kacha format. So how do you get to them now? These stores are giving them targets. These stores are displaying the products. You see these large billboards outside. Do you know that the impact that the the window, the display that is done inside the store has, because that's when the consumer goes and stands and he sees the product and he is willing to do a trial there. So that is where we come in. We As I told you, we track the displays in the store. Then we go on to make payments to the store directly into their bank account, instead of these the payment being routed through the distributors. And in fact, when we did that, distributors were also very happy, because ultimately their job is to roll the fund and get more out of the capital that they are putting into the market with the manufacturers. And in all of this admin work of paying the retailer, etc., large amounts of money of the distributor would lie unproductively waiting for reconciliations from the principal company. So it was a huge win-win that came into the market. We started this in 2016 and we really disrupted the market with this service. Now, as we go along, there comes another need, that is, how does this manufacturer engage with the retailer? And how does the manufacturer communicate with the retailer? And that's where we brought the Easy Pay app. This app is a omnibus platform where the retailer can get in, the retailer can see the payouts he is getting, the details of the payout, upload his KYC. He gets to see the entire, like a e-passbook, how much he ultimately has made from a company A and a company B and a company Z at one shot in the same glance. He gets to see the schemes, the discounts, the offers that the principal is giving to the retailers. Earlier he was only dependent on the distributor to tell him. Then the most importantly, we have tried to bring a little more pep into it, so that the retailer who's doing well can also, for the small things, win little contests, campaigns through this app, and get rewarded directly by the principal company. This platform also helps most of these companies to inform the retailers about how much they have achieved against their target. So, in a nutshell, this is a very holistic app through which becomes a one-stop platform for communication between the retailer and the manufacturer. And the biggest thing, that app to bahut sare hain. Which app does ultimately the retailer open? Does he have time to open? Well, the best part of the Easy Pay app is that the retailer, raises invoices. The retailer gets to see his payments directly on the app. So therefore, he has no other option but to open it, and there is enough impetus for him to open it. And we have seen, on an average, a retailer opening this app at least about three times a day for at least 15 to 20 days in a month. So that's the kind of adoption, and that's the kind of traffic that this app has. Finally, we move to another service line which also came with our clients need area. Most of our clients want to have competition information, and that is for any business becomes very very important now. The price of the product, especially in commodities, the price of the product as in the MRPs, all vary from time to time. Even the grammage that the FMCG company is giving in a category also varies. And that is where we play a very pivotal role in tracking these prices and giving a price monitor to our retailers, as well as our clients, whereby they can decide at what price they can run their products, launch their products, what's the competition doing in the trade channels. So that is in a nutshell what we do. Needless to say, by virtue of all this, we have lots of stores very well profiled. So very many new entrants into the Indian industry come to us asking for profiling of stores. That means which outlet should I be in, and that's another area that we help them with.
All right, ma'am. So now moving ahead and talking about the future, what further plans are you having for the company in the upcoming years? So if you can share a bit of those plans with us, please.
Sure, Varsha. We want to be a unicorn in our industry. Uh, Retail Scan is a company that in the next 2 years is going to have data and physical and digital connect with more than 10 million stores in the country. And that is where that is the kind of reach we want to have. So I think we have very big plans, and the journey has been good as of now.
And I wish you all the success for all these plans of yours, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Varsha. Thanks for taking the time.
Right. So now, ma'am, moving ahead and talking about this Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign, the gone 2 or 3 years has made us all realize that it is actually very important for us to become self-reliant. So, what do you have to say on this concept of becoming Atmanirbhar, and also how is your company working towards this?
Well, there is only one thing that I will say, Varsha. The very, the in my life, if there has been any thing which has been inspirational, pivotal role that it has played in my life, it is to be Atmanirbhar. So Atmanirbharta or self-reliance is something that I uh, believe for my country, I believe in for myself, I believe in for my sect, I believe it for all the women in the country, all the women in the world. So that's my conviction in Atmanirbharta, self-reliance. But of course, if you ask me about the program, I think it's a extremely good, I would say, initiative by the government. You see, it is in the fabric of the country. Even as we were doing work for our independence, I know Mahatma Gandhi's primary message, socio-economic message, was to become Atmanirbhar. There was a time when we knew very clearly, but we were banning, mill cloths from the mills of UK, and we were, using the self-made, cloth. So, it is in the fabric of the nation, and I feel that Atmanirbhar, Atmanirbharta is the only way that India can become one of the top, economies. We are one of the top economies, but one economy of the world.
Very correctly said, ma'am. So now moving ahead and talking about this 75th year of independence that we have just celebrated a few days back. So, what do you have to say on this, as in how far we have come, and what is your vision pertaining to this?
I was born in free India, Varsha, and as were you perhaps. So we really don't know the pangs of being in a country which is run by somebody else. But so this 75 years has, been a long journey. The only thing that sometimes, saddens you to think is that in 75 years, we could have done much more. But as the Prime Minister says very clear, and I think this is a very relevant statement he makes, that there is no scope for despondency. The journey of life is to be positive and to move on and move ahead. So I think this 75th year of independence has in many ways catapulted the nation to a very different league. Remember, now we are into a world which is much more, I would say, I was born into a world where which was very, very polarized. There were one or two superpowers, initially two, then one. But now, if you see, it's not a very polarized world anymore. There are multiple people. You don't know what's going to happen in 5 years' time, which, how nations and all nations are bound to each other for most of their economic requirements. So one cannot do with the other as well. So in this environment, the only way to be afloat and to establish yourself to be on the top is to have that basic conviction in being self-reliant, in moving ahead, with getting all the basics right, with manufacturing services, etc. India was becoming a very branded in the world as a company that only provides services and not manufacturing, and the post covid time saw a very big change in that. So I think the 75th year of independence sort of catapults us into a completely new era uh, of leadership.
Right, ma'am. So now comes the question which I was literally, waiting to put forward to you, and that is, what are your feelings on winning this Women Entrepreneur of the Year award for yourself?
Awards are always good. See, especially for entrepreneurs, what happens is you're constantly doing things, and there's just nobody. There are times when people need to tell you that, good girl, you've done a good job, and that is something that, there's a child in every one of us, and that's where I think these rewards and recognitions are very, very important. It sort of enables you to ponder for a minute. It enables you to just smile at your successes, because even when we are at this stage with more than 350 people working with us across the country as employees, associates, etc. The fact is, there are also challenges, and there will always be challenges in whatever you are doing. So this moment was a very, very fulfilling moment. Made you feel made you smile, made you feel good, and I would really recommend that you reach out to more and more women entrepreneurs, and they are able to participate in some of these things. Many of these things are not very well marketed still in the country, I feel. People do not know that these platforms and forums exist. So I would love to see this spreading. See platforms like these spreading their wings much more.
Right, ma'am. And I once again congratulate you on this achievement of yours.
Thank you so much, Varsha. It was a pleasure chatting up.
Right, ma'am. So now, as we have discussed a lot about your professional role and also the future plans that you are having, tell us a bit about your social contribution to, as in the CSR activities that you are involved in.
That's one area where, to be very honest, Varsha, I would like to do more. um, I have not been able to do to the level that I would have wanted to do. But I have been an entrepreneur for a long time, and one of our missions has always been to help women uh, in ways by making them economically independent, by giving them, opportunities to get employment, to generate money for themselves. And that's the area that I work in. I'm actually associated with a couple of NGOs where I also work towards teaching underprivileged women, helping them, to understand their potential. Many of them are actually leading very scared lives. If you really know that. They don't even realize how important they are. Have you if you talk to the maid who comes to work in your home, I mean, with a laborious job of about 8 9 hours, she again goes back, takes all the problems that her husband and children are meeting out to her, and yet, plays a key role in running the household. So I work in this area, and I look forward to doing much more here.
Lovely, ma'am. So now, before concluding our lovely session, what message or mantra you would like to give to a younger generation to become successful in their careers?
I think there are only two things that I would like to say. The first important thing is have belief in yourself and keep doing what you believe in. Okay, success comes at various stages to various people, and no two people's lives are similar. So it's very important to have that conviction and keep on. As I say, the mantra of entrepreneurship, the mantra of success is that one line that Nike uses in its as its slogan, or in it all its message. Just do it, just keep doing it, and things will work out fine.
Lovely, ma'am, and I'm pretty sure that these words of yours will surely be helping out the youngsters out there. So, thank you so very much for joining with us today. It was pleasure talking to you, and I wish you all the success for all your future endeavors as well. And may you continue to, inspire us the way you are doing. Thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you, Varsha. It was a pleasure.